It's me, Renee. I'm back. So today I'm here for my fiction November TBR. I already posted my non-fiction November TBR, which is kind of like this readathon, this outreach thingy. I think it's kind of a readathon, month-long readathon where the focus is to read non-fiction, kind of in the name. And yeah, I already have that TBR up. Last year I did only non-fiction in November. This year I decided I wanted to do some other stuff as well. I didn't want to do just non-fiction, so I have, let's say, small amounts. I suppose it's not small, but it's not huge. I have some books. I have some books that I plan to read in November that aren't non-fiction. So here we go. First, we have Ink, Iron and Glass by by Gwendolyn Clare. This is a high fantasy, but it's based on Italy in the 1400s. It's based on the concept is that this world, you have this world where every time you draw something, it comes to life, kind of like ink art, and it seems to have like political intrigue as well. This book. It's the first in a trilogy in a series anyway. And yeah, I'll have this on my TBR more or less all fall. Hasn't happened yet, but I do want to get to it. So yeah, put it on my November TBR. And then the Contender, Chosen One by Taiwan Mafaru. This is also the first in the series. This is it's a I'm not sure if it's a middle fantasy or if it's like a portal fantasy. I do know that part of it, like the main character, that guy, he's from our world. He talked about London and boarding school and stuff, and he talks about also computers, so it seems to be from our modern world. But like from the get-go in the first chapter, he's fighting monsters, so we don't really know what's happened. He seems to have gone to sleep and then end up here in this weird world, and so far I don't really know what's the dealio. I do know that I saw that interview over, and it said that he had taken inspiration from real life historical myths and historical objects, so like King Arthur and real life like monsters from history, like for example gorgons and yeah, and all that jazz. Something blacking out, but yeah. You see, I've started slightly. I'm liking it, but I suppose in a lot of ways, I'm a mood reader, so I might pick something up, read it for a few pages, and then go to sleep, and then pick something else up the day after. So yeah, why I haven't finished this or continued with it lately, I don't really have a reason. I just haven't. I do know that, as I said, I really enjoy it, so I probably will finish this one soon. This is one I think that it's not tentative. It's a book that I'll get to this month. Then again, I say a lot of things, but yeah. And then we have Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. It's actually my first Brandon Sanderson book. This is superheroes, as you might guess from the cape, but I'm pretty sure it's not like in our world. It's like high fantasy, but it still like has superheroes in it. It seems like to have like it's kind of like same like system where they have skyscrapers, so it seems like to be a world that has technology and stuff, but it's not New York, not London. It's not our world. It just seems similar, at least that's what I'm guessing. And yeah, I've heard very good things about Brandon Sanderson, and I found this in a used bookstore early this year, and yeah, very excited to get it. And then we have A Winter's Promise by Jean Christelle Dabos. This is originally a French book, so it's quite fun to read something that's not UK or US based or sometimes Australian based. This is French, and yeah, that's fun. It's a bit of a brick in a way. It's huge, but yeah, I heard it's good. Well, I heard mixed things about this. I've heard that it's supposed to be slow but atmospheric, and slow but really good world building. Some people love it, some people don't like it. So I suppose most books you have given take on. But yeah, I'm still a little curious about it. I actually found this in the library, and as you see, it's not a library book. It's just somebody forgot it there, and I asked, and I got it for free. So that's quite a catch. So yeah, yeah, I might pick this one up. It's the first book in a trilogy. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I'll link it down below. A Norwegian book, Jan Ulven. This is the first in a new trilogy. It's also it's by seafire, and it's also becoming translated to English next year, so you don't have to wait long. So yeah, I really love this author. I really love her other series. I talked about it before, The Raven Rings, which is coming in English next year. Look forward to it, March 21. But yeah, so yeah, I really like this author. I do. I was like so excited when I found this arc, and I've had it for like a few weeks now. I haven't really gotten that far into it. I've read like I read like 19 pages in it. Why haven't I read more? I suppose because it's slightly dark, and I suppose you could say, why haven't you read? Because October is spooky. Ooh, it's perfect time. I suppose I had so many books to read, and I haven't really been in the mood for this one so far. I do know that I like it when I get to it because I know that this author writes only amazing books. But still, I'm not really in the mood for it so far, but I want to read it like so this is like a tentative, but I kind of want to read it in November because I want to get to it. I suppose maybe if I sit down one evening with a tea and cozy it up, it might work to read it, like create a mood for it. I could try. And yeah, also yeah, you might wonder what it's about. So it's been described as Red Riding Hood on steroids. It's basically a high fantasy book, but it's also about addiction and about prophecies and about not wanting to, and about immortal people. And yeah, so it's both like dark in a way. It's the protagonist is 19-year-old, yeah, 19-year-old. She's been around like sexually and like in the world and stuff. She doesn't like her family. Her family has mistreated her, and yeah, so it sounds very tricky. Well, yeah, as I said, it sounds dark, so I kind of have to be in the mood for it. Seafire by Natalie C. Parker. I had it also early on my TBR for the before earlier in this year. Didn't get it. It's I think it's either pirates or mermaids. Not quite sure. Might be both. But yeah, it's high fantasy, high stakes, high seas, and high time for revenge. I know it's the first one in the series. I think it's pirates. Yeah, it's pirates. So it sounds very good. Looks the cover is so beautiful. Why I haven't gotten into it yet? I don't know. It's not nothing against the book. It's just like me having all the books in the world. And yeah. Then sorry, I put stopped on recording for on not on purpose. So I'm back. Sorry. But yeah, and then lastly we have sidequest. And you might think like, oh, that sounds interesting. Who's the author? Well, it's actually a Norwegian author. Yeah, with a title like sidequest, you think it'd be English. Sometimes Norwegian books has English or English titles. That's how it goes. It's a comic book, and it's kind of like I suppose it's kind of like a parody or like a fun trope or fun take on the quest narrative. And I've started slightly, and I really enjoy it. And it's from library, so I should get to it. But it's also, yeah, as I say, it's comic book, so it's not that long. So this one I'll definitely get to. It's just like it's 140 pages, so it's not long at all. And yeah, also, you might be thinking, oh, that's not a short stack, and aren't you finished now? No, have a few more books. So I'm also doing a buddy read with Katie from Katie Reads and Rants. I'll link it down below. with the books Kingdom of Copper and Empire of Gold. It's the second and third book, or sequel, and the last book in the Dababari trilogy. I read the first one in October, one of those. I think it was October. I'm not quite sure, but yeah. So this is a high fantasy. Well, no, I would more say maybe it's a parallel world fantasy because the first book starts in Egypt in the past. That kind of annoys me because it says hints about when time is, but doesn't really say it. I think it's before the First World War, but it's not really exact. I kind of wanted a date, a year, but what have you. But yeah, but then very soon it goes to this other world. But they do still mention Egypt and stuff, so they might still. I'm thinking I might return to our world in book 2 or 3. So I would say it's kind of like a urban fantasy. Well, it's not urban fantasy because it's not just in our world. It's historical fantasy with elements of different worlds. I'm saying that's it. But yeah, so I'm reading these two. I'm also yeah. As you see, I have quite a lot of books. I said, I don't have the money. So we're okay. So now it's 6 books, not finished. So yeah, these 2 are buddy reads with my friend Katie, and then I'm also doing a buddy read of Girl. Oh, sorry, Girl. Where is it? It's somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm doing a buddy read of most likely. Link down below. That's on Goodreads. And then I'm doing a buddy read of Nocturna. Heard good things about that one as well. That's high fantasy. And now I'm doing a buddy read of Legendborn. That's the Arthur retelling that came out this year with a black protagonist. I heard only good things about that one. And I think maybe I have another buddy read. Do I have 4 buddy reads? I'll check it out and I'll link it down below. I will. I do know sometimes I say I'll link it and then I forget it, but I do really. I'll do it today. Today I'll do it. Also, yeah, so that's kind of it for today. Yeah, also, I might do pre-film some stuff, so you might see this outfit for a few videos now. And yeah, I'll see you later. Bye bye.